broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, 'cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. When we meet, hold my hand in the darkness. Summer heat, bodies laid on the carpet. Eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. You're golden. Yeah, you're golden. You know it. Yeah, you're glowing. Golden. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the end, so I could show you. Golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. Hey.
hype when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Getting hype when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. It is the next round of the Porsche Super Cup, and if everything goes well, you shouldn't hear crackling, you shouldn't hear me cutting in and out. I have a new pad, as well as the new headset from the other week. PN, we are golden. Good evening, how are we?
Good evening, Matt. Yeah, it's my turn to buy another headset next. Because this one's got across the room a few times.
We good though, PM. We good apart from that. We always had a good day of touring, car racing, interesting weather, and we got to see the Porsche Carreras go around Knock Hill. There's no Knock Hill today. He's back at the home of British Motorsport. It is Silverstone. How are we? And how are we feeling for this race?
We've got a champion-elect tonight, haven't we?
We have. Yeah, we have indeed. Fury can win the championship with a couple of good results tonight over Smoky Devil and over the rest of the field tonight. If he does, he will win his championship. It will be his third championship of his SimPlay Motorsport tenure, to go along with the touring cars and to go along with the Pro-Am itself, as well as his Constructors' Championships in Pro-Am and last season's Pro. So a chance for Smokey a chance for Fury, to prove what he's got, because at the minute he's been the man to beat, hasn't he, PN? He's been on form. He's been absolutely electric in this series. 5 wins in 6 races, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was. Complete. He's pretty much like Ripper was in Pro.
Yeah, so which means anybody that beats him, aka if you're Hitman, you've had a pretty good race, because of the fact that it takes a lot to beat Fury, because he is a man on a mission at the moment. We are, though, joined tonight by a guest driver who commentated the first race with us. It is M. Plava, and I believe Nexus, who missed this week due to being on holiday. He's back from his holiday, and he's going to try and join us as a reserve as well, to fill the grid up a little more for our entertainment. And Plava's car looks very, very beautiful in that blue and pink colour with the black down the middle.
It looks like a shell suit from the 1990s, to be honest.
I think it's nicer than some of the cars out there.
Just keep it away from any open fires on bonfire night.
Yeah. Ant is here to make his first race of the season as well, so it's great to see Ant is going to be with us, running very familiar Porsche colours. Not only very familiar Porsche colours, but the colours down on Orthodox won his 2 championships in. So it's great to see him here in them colours tonight. So Ant makes his first outing in the Porsche Cup tonight. We've only 2 rounds tonight. Penultimate week, really, isn't it? 'Cause it's the penultimate round of the Porsche Cups, these 2 rounds are tonight.
Yeah, this has gone really quickly. Can we have this instead of Club and Boat?
What, just 5 short weeks of good racing?
Yeah. Oh, someone else has just joined the session.
Yeah.
That is Nexus.
Someone else has just joined. I believe that is Nexus. Baraba is away today. I don't think he's racing. No, he's not racing today. So just make sure that I get everybody on the tables who isn't racing on there.
That is indeed Nexus.
Yeah, so Nexus
this car's blue.
jumps in. I reckon it's possibly going to be green as well. It's the Hungarian flag.
It is the Hungarian flag.
It's the Hungarian flag. So there we go. We do have Lucas Roth on the grid. Ginger Bush is back tonight, as is GRR Scorpion after a pretty impressive outing last week. Smokey Devil and Sekulovic are currently in the pits with Daz Automatic. The current, or the new, Pro-Am champion in his Titan Oro colours for tonight. Fury's out there as well in his SimPlay Racing colours, as is Unorthodox in his black and yellow with his I'd say trademark pink. Dan used to race in orange and yellow, so he's gone for the pink and yellow tonight, seeing as he races orange and green. Good evening, though, to everybody in the chat. Thomas Marshall, evening to yourself. Fury's granddad, Mother Davis, Micro J's in there as well. Did Phil drop out? Phil was down as tentative, so we hope Phil does turn up for the race, because it'll be good points for DJ Phil, because he's doing well in this championship at the moment, and the championship standings look a little like this. It goes the way of Fury, 47 points, clear of Smokey Devil. He's then got 11 points over Unorthodox. Keegs is currently 4th, 10 points behind. A point behind him is Hitman, who's not here tonight. DJ Phil has the chance to go above Hitman if he gets here tonight. Daz Automatic just behind him by a point. Baraba sits in 8th with Exit Tibbs in 9th. Max Mulder is 10th before Sekulovic in P11. Bearing in mind the top 10 can still win the championship, so any driver missing from that top 10 will be out of the championship running come the end of tonight. Sekulovic is 11th, Scorpion is 12th, Mr. T is 13th place, Gary is in P14, Noza 15th, Hall T in 16th place, Ginger Bush 17th, and Hitman, the South African version, Nexus, Emplava and Leon Fernie yet to score. Leon Fernie's only done 1 race. We've yet to see Ant until tonight, and we've yet to see Hitman South African one take to the track this evening, as look who's just gone quick by 0.2 of a second. PN Ginger Bush putting his name in the hat.
Yep, he's getting the race rust of driving one of these top cars, because he's a different animal compared to his GT3 car. He races on Tuesdays. He
did win Tuesday night as well, so he's in a good bit of form, is Ginger Bush at the moment. He took the race win at Laguna Seca.
Yeah. Track temperatures are pretty similar, actually, to Laguna. They're not for Hungary.
Not quite for Hungary. Now, a lot of drivers have complained about the track temperatures being too high, so I've actually turned the track temperature down a little bit. So we'll see what that does to the cars, and drivers are going to give us their feedback as well to see how that one goes. But we'll see what happens in this race as we go through at the moment. Then 11 drivers currently in. Holty and DJ Phil are the 2 we are waiting to get in. How's your day been, Pian?
Yeah, it's just usual.
Yeah, usual. Fair enough. Fair enough. Silverstone. We was here 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, when it was a very wet race. How the weather has changed over 2 weeks.
It's probably been raining there this tonight, though. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It's been quite good. Donington, and Silverstone's about 2 hours away from me, so it's been quite good.
Not Kill, on the other hand.
No.
Not so much.
No. Not Kill wasn't great. And if you are a touring car fan and you watch the Porsche Carrera Cup, they had interesting conditions to race in, as Ginger Bush is going to pit. Just looking at who's coming towards the line, it's Dan and Scorpion. Let's talk a little about Scorpion. Let's go on board with him and watch him. Let's talk a little about Scorpion. What a race he had last time out. What an absolute opening couple of races you could have asked for a debutant.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it? He's got pace, he can master these cars quite well. Be interested to see what he'd be like in a GT3 car.
Yeah, which hopefully we get to see what it'll be like in a GT3 car next season. There is a poll out at the moment for pole position. Get your votes in for who you think is going to take pole position, as we hopefully will get Holty and DJ Phil into the race. Pien, if you have to tip somebody for pole position, who are you thinking? Is it this man, GRR Scorpion? Because he looked quick last week, although his times don't reflect that at the moment. People may be doing qualifying runs.
Who do I put the first commentator curse on for pole position?
You didn't say a name there, though.
I haven't. Oh, yeah, Dan. But I haven't said one, Dan.
Yeah, so I think PN's going Dan. Something makes it sound like he's going to go for Dan. As DJ Phil's actually in the chat, go Dan for the... And then he's not said what? Win or pole? Could be any of them. Could be both.
Yeah.
DJ Phil, instead of being in the chat, you need to be out on the track. You've got a chance here of getting a good top 5 finish in this championship this season to get yourself out on the track.
Yeah, we've only got 2 more races on Pro-Am, but we've got a chance for second. Don't you dare drop out of there.
You have. So Phil's got a chance of a top 5 in Porsche Cup. He's got a chance of a second place with yourself on Wednesday night in the Constructors.
Yeah.
Final. We're coming to that stage of the season, Pian, where I hate because it's finals week and it's, final races of the season. It all goes a little quiet. We do the odd fun event. We do the odd special event. Possibly a little 4-race season coming to you on ACC, but in a different car. DJ Phil is out and about. So there we go. That is why Phil was down as tentative then. So shame for DJ Phil. As actually, as well, had DJ Phil raced tonight, this is an interesting one for you. Had DJ Phil raced tonight, DJ Phil would have not been tied with Gary anymore. He would have been the outright top of the pile on appearances for SimPlay Motorsport. 283 Phil would have been on. He's currently tied on 281 with Gary, and there's no Gary tonight either. In terms of appearances, Dan tonight will go on to 197. Then he'll have his fantastic final race in the Reddit to put him on 198. And then Dan will be on race 2 of Donington Park. 200th race for Dan.
Yep.
What an occasion. As Fiore does go fastest. Right, session is over. Who's coming around to that final corner? It is car 12 of Lucas Roth. Great T. Keegs back. Great T. Keegs taking it quite so seriously as well.
Yeah. I can't remember last time I saw Keegs do so many races in the season. Even when I used to just be watching in the stream. And he said voyeur then. That's about right. I like to watch.
Luke Roth was in the party, and he was in the party earlier. He basically said that he got drowned at Knock Hill all weekend as Fiore crosses the line to stay fastest.
I'm not surprised. I saw the build up to race 3 and how the clouds were like someone.
Oh no, he left before race 3. He came on the headset as race 3 started.
So he wisely left before the mad rush.
There we go. Sorry, go on, Pian.
Which is what I normally do when I'm out patrolling cars at Snetterton. I normally go before the third race.
And this is why at Donington Park in 2 weeks' time, me, Joe, and everybody else who's going to stay until the Monday. Because we're camping. And Thomas Marshall, Donington is my local track as I live in Hena. Well, there you go, Thomas, me and you both. Donington is my local track, and I'll be there for the British Touring Cars in 2 weeks' time, where I do believe Jay and Ben Bath from Pro-Am are going to be there as well. Right, and Plaver's not wasting any time. In Am, thank you, Pian. And Plaver's not wasting any time. He's straight out on track, wants to get a lap in. And that's not the best way to start the lap, Plaver, as you bounce off the wall.
You can tell he's been Mike's teammate from the past season.
The peaceful pirouette coming out in perfect fashion.
Mike's going to kill us for that one.
Is there any spin that begins with L? I'm just looking to my wife a second behind me. Is there a spin that begins with L? She doesn't think so. I think that requires a Google. Because we've got the peaceful pirouette, we've got the Wisocki windmill. I think we could have the Latvian something.
Loop.
So we'll have to get the Latvian. No, the loop. The loops. No, that's different. I'd say. She's on
the
that.
Latvian lose it.
The Latvian lose it. That could be the one we have to stick with. The Latvians lost it, more like.
Well, that's not who's already on.
Yeah. 24 hours on the PC. You want about there in the M4?
Yep.
Yeah, so subject. I was his teammate that day.
I know. I was watching. I was watching in your stream.
And you know the worst thing is, that's the one time Bozzy Bostock's actually had a good race. Evening, Bozzy, if you're watching.
He won't be.
No, of course he won't be. He's loved up now, isn't he?
He's up to
Bless him.
He solemnly swears he's up to no good. Up to no good, actually, no, Liam. That's the first person to cross the line, will be Dan.
Yeah, we're on board with Dan, ready to go. In fact, I tell you what, I got a special request this week to go and do a lap of qualifying with him. So do you know what? We're going to do a special lap of qualifying with Fury then. And we're going to go for this view here where you can see his steering input and how many corrections Fury has to make.
Yeah, I've got controllers set up all the cameras now. I have 2 button buttons, one for racing.
Right, so we're on board with Fury, wide at Brooklands, in towards Luffield now. This is an onboard shot. Joe requested an onboard shot of himself for qualifying today, so we'll give you lap 1 of qualifying. You've got an Orthodox just in front, you've got Ant just behind, and Joe comes down the start straight. We've got a good view of his wheel and a good view of the circuit well into Copse corner, a full lock on the steering wheel there as he then clips that outside line. Keep an eye on his time in the top right-hand corner, top left-hand corner. That's how you'll know if it'll be invalid or not, if it'll go red. Into Maggots and Beckett's now. A lot of curve through the first part and the second. A lot of steering lock on his angle on the car I've noticed here. His purple and green overalls, looks like Tinky Winky all mixed up into one, and I'm sure Joe will appreciate me saying that about him as he comes down the hanger straight now. I can barely hear PN at the moment, so I don't know if you're speaking at the minute, PN.
I was going to say this Tinky Winky and Lala.
Well, there we go. I actually heard you there because he was off the throttle coming into Stowe Corner. I can't hear you when he's on the throttle because it's so noisy in the cockpit of this Carrera Cup car then. Down in towards Club now. And he actually looks like he's gained a bit of time this lap over on Orthodox. And Joe here doesn't look as slidey as he normally does. He normally loves a good slide on these cars, although there's a lot of steering input going in to get him around these corners. Joe really chucking this car into these corners. I'm sure it looks a lot better from the outside. As he throws it into Abbey now. Now into Farm. Oh, a lift through Farm there. So Joe didn't trust the car through Farm. I wonder if that was just a little bit of a stability lift. Oh, there you go. There's a correction. Just slam the throttle down out of Village in towards the link now, and now towards Aintree. Flat scat through there, no lift for Joe. Bumpy and bouncy over the curb. Danny's going to be the first man set a lap time. We'll get to see this one. Joe's got a good valid lap though, and he's right behind Dan as they come in towards Brooklands now. What is Joe's lap time going to be? Currently Dan is leading the pole in terms of pole position. To get DJ Phil is visiting family in Chester. Well, I hope you're having a cracking weekend in Chester, Phil. And now out the final corner towards Woodcote comes Joe for the first time. Just finish his flying lap. Dan crosses it, it's a 2:03.4. Joe crosses it, it's a 2:03.7. So a good run there from Joe. Who is the next car to cross the line? It is going to be car 18 of Sekulovic as Ant goes P3. Sekulovic crosses the line, goes within 1.3. Daz Automatic now crosses the line. He goes P4. Car 57 of Nexus in his Hungarian colours is now about to come to the line as he enters Brooklands and Luffield. And PN, I can now hear you once again.
Well, good job it wasn't a V12 Aston.
Yeah, true. Do you want to know a fun thing about the Porsche Carrera Cup around here?
No.
Gary 131, we did a 2-hour race of Silverstone fun event a long time ago. Gary 131 actually raced the cup car thinking it was the Porsche GT3 car as Nexus's lap time is invalid. Smoky Devil gets the line, goes P6. Scorpion gets to the line, goes P4. The next car is Lucas Roth. So Gary finished 5th out of a 20-car grid in a 2-hour race around here in a cup car.
Tidy.
Yeah, very tidy. Lucas Roth goes P9, not the best of laps for him. Next car will be Ginger Bush, but he's on an invalid one. Joe has invalidated his lap, so it'll be on Orthodubs next to cross the line on a valid lap time. And apparently, I believe that's an eye. Illusion. That says. So I don't believe there is any term here for this. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Dance turns with L.
How about for R?
Dance turns that start with an L. That's just giving me names of different dancers. We need a specific move like the pirouette. Good evening to Fury's mum. Good luck, everyone. Come on, Fury, she says in the chat. Back to qualifying, though. Dan crosses the line. Goes 2 tenths quicker than Fury at the moment. It's Daz Automatic, the next car on a flying lap.
Yeah, he won't be now. That was a lot of he just got then.
He did, you know.
Go fast?
He's gone P1, so it counted. That was a lot of Kirby took, but he's gone P1, PN. I didn't expect that from Daz tonight.
Pole positions mean nothing over racecraft. That means more.
But it does mean more. The difference is, though, it will go down on his stats. And Daz doesn't have many pole positions, but he is a Constructors' Champion. So will this reinvigorate him for to win more races? Daz actually has three. Daz has 3 pole positions in his career.
I have 1 in Formula 2.
F2 Suzuka.
Suzuka.
Yeah, there we go. Smoky Devil goes P4. The car's behind him, all on an invalid lap. The next car will be Ginger Bush. Now, I'm just keeping an eye on car 13 and 16. Joe looks a little closer on the track map to Dan than what he did a little earlier. Oh, Ginger Bush gets a little squirrely through the link there, or the loop link, whichever you want to call it.
Zelda. Just as called Zelda.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've just got that one. Not a big Zelda fan. My brother-in-law would have understood that one quicker than I would have. Fury's granddad's in the chat. Dan, I'm watching, he says. Now, I was actually editing the highlights. Fun story, this one, Pian. I was editing the highlights the other day. Remember the cracking battle between Joe and Dan last week in the opening race of Alton Park?
Yeah.
I commentated and I said, if these two hit each other, there's going to be handbags. Turns out there was handbags with Fury's granddad and Dan. Not Joe and Dan. So there was handbags, but the wrong person. Dan then, currently second place, needs half a tenth, just under.
Lost it, the club.
Right, so Plava's lost it. That's invalidated his lap time. What car number is Plava? He's 29. So him and Nexus not yet got a lap time on the board. Dan needs half a tenth, though. Can he find this half a tenth? Out of Woodcut he comes down to cross the line. He doesn't find it. What about Fury? Does he find any time? He does. And we got 3 cars now within a tenth of a second. 21 people currently watching the stream. Guys, girls, hit that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button if you like what you see here. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Fast approaching 500 subscribers as Ant stays P7. And the next car to do a lap will be that of Nexus. And don't forget to hit the bell to be notified when we are live. Final races of the season. Title on between tech leader Emo Guy and Jay in the Amateur League at the Hungaro Ring on Tuesday evening, 8 PM UK time. You can join me and Fury with that with pit lane reports from our Ted Kravitz PNMotorsport. Join us.
She's much better looking.
Join us Wednesday night for me and I believe this man Nexus. Ben will be back with me on Wednesday night for the finale of Pro-Am, where Louis Allen is still up for the championship with Smoky Devil, Sekulovic, and that of Tibbs as well as Nexus crosses the line and goes P10. Currently Lucas Roth next to the line. Can he improve on his time? And join PNMotorsport and Dan Davis live for Pro, where the championships are both done and it's just a few drivers playing for pride in terms of the championship. Qualifying is done though, PN. Daz is in the pit, Sekulovic is in the pitch, as is Ginger Bush and Ant, and Nexus has invalidated his lap, so has Smoky Devil. So the main man we've got to watch then, Daz is risking this, but Dan is the man we've got to watch.
Oh, Fury over the curb.
Did that invalidate his lap? No. But I imagine he's probably not going to take pole position here. Good evening to Welchie. Hope you're well. Hope you're dry. Buddy, I know you was at Knockhill this weekend. It was a very wet one then. So Dan, trying to take pole away from Daz Automatic. Fury may not get a pole position here. That'll be a rarity. As here comes Dan then.
He's just got to go pointsy, haven't he?
He has got to go pointsy.
And pass his ride check height.
Yeah, make sure you don't fail that ride height inspection. Dan all over the curb at Woodcut, comes to the line now. He creates the shortest line and takes pole by 12 thousandths of a second. Joe can't do anything about it, so it's now down to Scorpion in the back of the pack. But has Dan just taken pole position? Number 3 of the season and number 36 of his SimPlay career. It'll also give him that extra point that'll put him 10 behind Smoky Devil and only 57 behind Joe. But crucially, PN, he's put a car between himself and Joe.
He has indeed, and that's going to be interesting in turn 1 into Cops, where according to Christian Horner, but what did he know? He's a failed racing driver. You can't overtake few Cops. Clearly, he's never seen touring cars.
Yeah, that was more bitterness because Lewis Hamilton set his man up an absolute peach. for any Max Verstappen fans or Red Bull fans in the chat. I do apologise. Here comes Scorpion then through. Woodcock creates the shortest line as possible and goes P7. Plava doesn't get a lap time on the board, so Dan Davis will take pole position number 3 of the season and pole position number 36 of his career. And that is fantastic. I say of his career, of his SimPlay Motorsport career. So fantastic for him. Daz, though, narrowly misses out. The top 3 separated by no less than a 1/10 of a second. That's a good qualifying, Pian.
It is. It's quite close up there. Let's see what the next 20 minutes bring in the race.
Indeed, it is.
Double checked off.
Yeah, well, I had to reset the lobby earlier because I messed up with that. So whoever voted unorthodox in the poll for the pole position, congratulations, because that is the correct answer. Race 1 winner poll going up now, though. And PN, I'm obviously going to ask you this question first. Race 1 winner?
Fury.
It's hard to look past Fury, isn't it? Because he's been
hard to look
so good all season.
Yeah, Fury. He's probably got more of a race pace in it anyway. Fun fact, as Benny Vargas says, this is the first time driving this car.
Well, Ben, hope you're having a good time. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. All goes down on the stats as well, so just double checking that this doesn't make an appearance for Benny Vargas. So where is Nexus on my stats page? He's there. So no, this will put him on to race number 30 for Nexus. And for Plava, this will be race number 132, so he'll be a bit further ahead than Keegs now. For Dan, though, Dan will go ahead of Welshie tonight, and will go ahead of Argent as well. He'll be on 197, so he'll jump Welsh and Argent in the all-time race list, but he needs that race win number 57 because Joe has got 6 race wins to Dan's 1 this season, 5 of them coming in the Porsche Cup in 6 races. It's an 11-car grid. PN's going Fury. I'm going Fury. Get your vote in the chat for who you are going to go for as well. This could be an interesting one. As Smoky Devils missed the start.
Oh, Smoky.
What a shame. Now, Keegs may win the race, Welshie, if somebody doesn't cut his internet cable. Hey, Pierre.
Yeah.
For those who missed it, SimPlay Racing had an endurance race the other week, and Keegs, just before the race, had his internet cable snipped. So Welshie needs to make sure that internet cable doesn't get cut tonight.
If not, you'll have an irate son.
Yeah. Not going to want to do that one. DJ Phil says it's Dan for the win. And Nexus says, I didn't spin it yet. Smoky Devil has to be upset about that one. Chance to finish second in this championship and keep his championship's hopes alive. He's now a lap behind, so needs Fury to have a bad race here. Oh, was that Ginger Bush having a bit of a spin there? It was. So he's now got to get back into 6th place.
I think I kind of agree with Max. You should drop to the back if you spin on the formation.
It's in the suggestions, isn't it, for next season?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that one by Max. God, I feel dirty now.
I've just had a message from Daz on Discord. I think I'm going to get a nosebleed up here, he says.
You probably will. It's a bit like me when I got on the podium in the F1 races. The surprise one at Spa last season. I was like, how did I do this?
Stupid track limits rules, if I remember rightly. It rained as well, didn't it, at Spa, surprisingly?
Yeah, and I did a blind on tyres, didn't I? As well.
You did. Right, long formation lap this one.
Well, she with the scissors emote.
Brilliant. It's a very long formation lap this one, Pian, in these Porsche Cup cars as well. We're just doing under 2 minutes a lap time in the normal GT3s. These are just over 2 minutes a lap in these Porsche Cup cars. This Ginger Bush is now bunny hopped over the sausage curb.
I don't get it. All season we said there's no refueling. Why are people in Discord saying, what's the fuel? In the Discord for the Porsches. There's no refueling. Like, same with all the GT3s. no fuel stops.
Yeah. So he knows what to start on, obviously.
20 minutes worth.
Yeah. Obviously,
Well,
he obviously hasn't. Whoever that was, obviously hasn't tested the fuel limits for this race, has he? Either way, we're coming towards that middle part of the circuit. Welsh looks like he's got the scissors at the ready, and this should be an interesting one.
Yeah, I got a nosebleed when I got that pole at Suzuka in F2s. Don't miss them cars at all.
So both of us have gone Fury for the race win. The chat at the moment is going the way of unorthodox. Sekulovic, bless him, not had a single look in at the moment. It's hard to look past Fury this season, isn't it?
It is very hard to look past Fury.
He's been so good.
Cars. He really likes these cars. As Dan's bunching them up now. I don't know why people weave. It makes no difference.
Well,
You're taking life out.
It might do in these.
Not at 33 degrees track temperature.
No, yeah, that's a fair point. Are we there yet, says Jay in the chat. We're close. It's been a long old formation lap, is this one?
Yeah.
But round Luffield they come now. Sorry, Ping, go on.
That track temp, you don't need a weave. You're actually taking life out of your tyres by weaving that aggressively. That's how you get punctures if you're being blown. Yep, lining up through Woodcut.
They are lining up through Woodcut and they're coming down towards the start line now. We're for the seventh time this season. Sorry, for the ninth? Yeah, the seventh time this season. We are about to be green and go here. The race start is initialised. We are now green and go here at Silverstone, and Dan gets a better start than Fury. They're both cutting behind. Daz a little lacklustre in the background, just had to tuck back in. Joe's already got a good run on Kopp's corner then, as Dan a little left and right till they come to Maggots and Beckett's. Joe's going to try and around the outside of Dan and Maggots and Beckett's. They're a bit spaced out to the back part now, but it is Dan from Fury. Daz has managed to keep himself P3 and on the back of these two at the front as they come through Beckett's in towards Chapel. And what is the situation on the run out of Chapel? It is Dan and Fury tooth and nail at the moment as they come down. They took Daz, Sekulovic and Ginger Bush with them, as we're going to let the timing screen match up before we get there. 43, that is Smokey Devil, who's already started a lap down now. Joe to the outside of Stowe. Is he going to get it done the long way round? If he keeps it there, he'll have the inside for Club. I don't think he has done. Dan runs him out of room. Daz a little wide. Sekulovic has missed the corner completely. Now Joe looks to the outside of Club now. Daz is going to think on the inside of the pair of them. And Daz has a late lunge. Gets past Joe. Gets side by side with Dan. Joe comes round the outside of them both. And Joe takes the lead of this race. What a move from Fury.
Yeah, and hopefully Fury will check out now.
As Dan the other. Lucas Roth and Plava and Scorpion having a little battle. They're three wide as they come towards Abbey. And Plava's got the pair of them done now. But what a start to this race.
Oh, there's a lot of track limits being taken by Plava through Abbey into New Farm.
Oh, Dan has a little wiggle there, and that's possibly going to give Daz the chance to have a look at a run down the Wellington straight on unorthodox. And so Daz sent one on unorthodox of Fury. Dan saw him coming and managed to cover Daz. Here comes Daz having another look up the inside into Brooklands. Can't get that one done. He's racing with a 6-time champ and a 2-time champ at SimPlay Motorsport. And Daz, a 1-time Constructors champ, fancies his chances of making some early moves here. Through Luffield they come to complete the first lap. 20-minute timed race, let's not forget. And this could be an absolute fantastic one as down the straight they come. Here comes Daz on the back of Dan Unorthodox here. A fantastic start. Ant, by the way, is up to P4.
Nexus P5, not bad for his first time driving this car.
Yeah, not bad at all. And Plava's up 6th, Lucas Roth 7th. Scorpion down in 8th. Sekulovic after his off is dropped down. Daz has started to lose out to the front two. Let's just go back to Lucas Roth, who's got Scorpion right on the back of him. He's going to have a look actually up the inside into Maggots. Brave move this could be from Scorpion. Backs out of that one as Keegs gave him a very wide berth into the opening part of the corner. And Lucas Roth wisely left him enough space there. Ginger Bush hasn't had the best of getaways here to say he had some pace in qualifying in free practice. And at the moment, they're all line astern down the hanger straight.
I wonder if he damaged the car a bit when he hopped over the sausage curb in Club. on the formation lap.
Possibly slow. So as up front, and Plava's looking up the inside here of Nexus coming through Stowe. Nexus very wide towards Club. Plava's not got the run on him anymore. Is he going to look to the inside of Club though? Could be the outside for the second part. No, he doesn't. Can't get that one done there. Daz, go Fury, go. And Orthodubs says Thomas in the chat. Well, they started to drop Daz a little bit now. He started to be left behind a little bit as Ginger Bush ended up cutting the last part of Club and let Sekulovic through. So he's had a moment somewhere. And Plava's got Fury right on the back of him here.
Poor Smokey locked a lap down. Because we've got to find a way to see if we can do rid of that in the surface setting.
Plava's had a spin, and Lucas Roth's collected him. This is going to give the run for Scorpion, who gets up the inside. Sekulovic now bullies Keegs out wide. This could allow Ginger Bush through. Scorpion's had a wiggle. Keegs has a wiggle. Ginger Bush has a wiggle. Plava's back through them all, and Smokey Devil's unlapped himself from a couple of cars.
Sekulovic is facing the wrong way. He was then.
Yeah, he's back going now. It was all a little argy-bargy through there. As Ant now is within half a second of Daz. So Daz has just fell off the pace of the two leaders at the moment.
Yeah, as they completely show their class, really, why both of them in pro. Well, Dan should be in pro, really.
Yeah.
But
Ant in Pro-Am, he's had a pretty good season, hasn't he, this season in Pro-Am when he's been around. He's had a good set of results. It's going well.
You mean Matt? Oh, you heard
yeah.
Yeah. Benny is pro. Scorpion's completely new. Keys is Pro-Am, but he has pace on his day. And Plava's wishes he never drove a Porsche. And Smokey's on the back of Keegs to unlap himself.
Dan's also on the back of Fury as they come down towards the... I don't know why the pit window is open. The drivers do not need to pit. So that is a fault on my behalf this time. There is no pit stops to complete. So the drivers do not need to pit here. They will not get penalised for pitting.
I don't know if I got the Discord open to see...
So through... Yeah, if you could type that in for us there, PN. So through they come. Bumper car says, Dodgem says Welshie. Bumper car says Jamie Brazier. As Dan's still looking on the back of Fury. Scorpion, though, he's looking on the back of Nexus here. So Nexus trying to defend from a double podium sitter last time out.
Yeah, as I try to find the thing.
And Scorpion actually gets himself pretty easily past Nexus. Job done. Easy like this. Right on track is the Nexus Scorpion at the moment, as Scorpion has just got through.
Hopefully, any who've got Discord open, don't pit. It's
anybody who has the stream open, yeah, don't pit as well. It's the pit window isn't open for a reason, so hopefully no drivers pit. There is no mandatory stop to complete, so the drivers don't have to do one. So if they don't pit, they won't be penalised with a penalty. And we had this problem back at Snetterton. Do not pit at all. It should all be fine.
Yeah. It's just a server. We'll just say that's the server.
I turned the pit stop off and completely forgot about the pit window. I thought it would have just turned it off, but it didn't seem to. Right. Nexus trying to stay on the back of Sekulovic then, but they kind of started to space out Dan. Called like a 10th in the first sector to Fury, but doesn't really have an answer for his pace at the minute.
No, and they've completely dropped Daz now.
Yeah, Daz is coming under some pressure by Ant, although that gap's opened up as Nexus is now 9/10 behind Scorpion. The closest battle is actually Lucas Roth and Smokey Devil. As here goes Smokey Devil up the inside. But Smokey Devil is a lap down, so it's not a battle for points, it's a battle for Smokey to unlap himself. As Sekulovic now looks like he's within 0.8 of a second of Ginger Bush. That could be the closest fight on track at the moment.
As well as Nexus and Scorpion. That's also less than a second.
Yeah, Nexus though is...
Nexus was wide.
Nexus was being dropped by Scorpion in their fight. Dan to Fury, they're coming up to the Sector 2 time. And actually, that looks a little closer. Yeah, it's half a second. So Dan's took 0.3 out of Fury this lap. And Dan is absolutely charging at the moment. He's really coming for Joe. Daz and Ant's within 4/10. In fact, Ant has got ahead of Daz, so I'm not sure what's happened to Daz, but he's lost out to Ant for a podium here.
He has. Has Ant had a podium in Am? I can't remember.
I believe he has. I think he's had a race win. I'll double check for you now. Ant, yeah, he's had 4 podiums, never actually won a race, so he's been there or thereabouts this season, not won a race. As Daz is pitting, I'm not sure why Daz is pitting here, but you do not need to pit.
No.
As Plover's got past Lucas Roth, and that is job done. Does Daz have damage then, I wonder?
As I have the technology.
So Daz, if you're listening to the stream, you do not need to pit.
2 seconds
Please.
worth.
2 seconds worth. So that's hardly enough really to warrant a pit stop. But Daz has stopped in the pits then. So Kulovic gaining on Ginger Bush. Lucas Roth within 4/10 of and Plover. And for Fury here, he's opened that gap back up again.
Yeah, it's ebbing and flowing. Did you hear David Addison say that as well?
I did hear David Addison say that today. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So Kulovic gaining on Ginger Bush for the 9th and 10th spot at the moment. This will really help Smokey Devil catch Daz in this race.
It will, because he's going to lose. About a minute and a half in the pits?
Yeah, in and out.
Yeah.
Right, Dan, middle
Daz
sector again. Middle sector again. Dan here has really gained on the back of Fury. That gap is going to be under the half a second, or around the half a second it was last time. Yes, it is, look. Plover 6/10 quicker ahead of Keys at the moment. So Dan has pretty much ruined his race here. He's running in a good P4. He's ruined that.
Yeah.
As we're halfway through the race, we're only going to get about 8 laps in this race, just a short one. Say short, it's still 20 minutes, but yeah.
It's 2 minutes 5 seconds average.
Right, now I'm not sure what's happened, but Plover's had a spin. He's dropped behind Lucas Roth, Ginger Bush, Sekulovic, and all of a sudden Lucas Roth, who's got damage to the front of his Porsche, has got Sekulovic and Ginger Bush right on the back of him here.
Yeah. Nice little 4-way. Or 6. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead rages on between Fury and Dan.
Yeah, that's half a second at the moment. So when Plover's going to try and catch back up to these 3 in front.
There's no idea why Daz pitted, because you didn't need to, because we've got the green tick saying that no need for mandatory stop.
Yeah, that's kind of put into Daz's race here. Although it's 3/10 out front. Look, Dan's getting closer to Fury at the moment. He's got his lights on now.
But Fury just seems to have better traction at the corners.
Yeah, he does. And that's where Fury seems stronger all season, as Dan clatters the curb there. That's going to lose him a little bit of time and momentum. Dan seems to be having the better middle sector through the final next parts of the circuit. Dan really seems to be motoring on. And I'll tell you what, it's absolutely fantastic to see Sekulovic on the back of Ginger Bush on the back of Lucas Roth as well. So we just keep our eyes on this little 3-way battle at the moment, as Plover's dropping off the back of these 2. Down the straight, hard on the brakes they come. But it's Dan still getting closer to the back of Fury at the moment. The race format, Welsh, is just 2 20-minute races and 2 10-minute qualifyings. No pit stop in the Porsche Carrera Cup.
And it's literally just Donny left.
And it is Donington left after this week. 2 races at Donington Park. Dan is having a look. He pulls back in, though, just before Brooklands. But that's now going to make Joe have to realise a little bit that Dan is there.
Yeah. But Fury, you know he's there. One would hope, anyway.
It's Tony in the chat. Dan, don't need the lights on. We can see you, he says. Well, Dan is coming for Fury at the moment. Dan is really on a charge and is really trying to gain on the back of Fury here. And Fury, who's been the most dominant driver in these cars all season, has really took the fight to every driver and has said, look, I'm laying down the gauntlet. You guys have got to try and match me. Ginger Bush was wide at Brooklands, and that gives Sekulovic back the place. So Sekulovic then losing out to Lucas Roth, and Plover's gaining on the back of these pair as well, as Daz now running on his own and getting some track time. But back out front, it is Dan and Fury, tooth and nail once again. Like Alton Port last week, we're into the final 7 minutes of this race, PN, and it's been a little quieter than Alton Port last week on this longer circuit. But Joe, once again, seems to have it covered over Dan.
Oh, Dan's had a little look into Stowe. Yeah, I have bad memories of Stowe. That's when my hero broke his leg in 1989. Yeah. When his brakes failed and Eddie Irvine saw this red flash go past him.
Joe here is just running a little deep, I've noticed, PN, in the last couple of corners. He's just gone a little deep. This could invite unorthodox on a little bit here. In fact, Dan looks really close. He looks bumper to bumper with Fury. He pulls out to have a look at Abbey. Thinks better of it as they took it to turn one.
As the car bounces over the bar.
Yeah, you just see it really sort of soft suspension and really bouncing along. Dan now to the outside of Village. Can't get it done. Fury, a wise defender, a wise old fox, or young fox, should I say. He's a young cub, is old Fury.
Whippersnapper.
And down onto the Wellington straight they come again. Here comes Joe. He's really now on the back of Dan. Defending from Dan. He's having to work hard this week in terms of defending, not attacking.
Yeah. Well, he just started in the front with that when Daz did that.
Yeah.
Run, almost to subtly send it onto him. I wonder if Sutty's back on his holidays yet. Probably not, is he?
He possibly misses this week. He's unsure if he misses this week or not. He can't remember what day he's back, he said. As Sekulovic has got past Ginger Bush and Emplava and is now within 0.4 of a second on the back of Lucas Roth. But Dan is still the one hunting Fury down, and the highlights from race one last week was pretty much just Dan and Fury. Well, at the minute, it's been a quiet race one. We're into the final 5 minutes of the race. And that's it, Walsh. Yep, just a 20-minute race in these Porsche Carrera Cups. But these cars knows traction control. So they're a bit of an animal.
A bit?
Yeah. Well, I've not driven much of them, so yeah, a bit of an animal.
Pit window is now closed.
Is the pit window closes? Not that it mattered anyway.
Not like it mattered
Oh,
anyway.
Lucas Roth very wide. It cops. Sekulovic has the run on the outside towards Maggots and Beckett. Lucas Roth has to yield the time. Sekulovic up into P6. And Lucas Roth loses out a little bit there. Back to the leaders. Dan's on the back of Fury still.
Must be getting sick of the sight of the back of that Porsche. Is old Daniel.
Both very wide through there. Yeah, the track limits will be counting up for the pair of them through that part of the course. Now, so they've both got to be very careful through that part of the track.
Yeah, you don't want to drive through at this stage of the race.
No.
There's no time to serve it. So it'd be, oh, Dan.
Dan had a look and Fury clattered off the sausage curve there. You see that?
Yeah, I think Dan maybe it was a tiny bit of contact because Dan backed out of that as well.
And he has lost quite a bit of time now. Lucas Roth trying to stick to the back of Sekulovic, and he's got Ginger Bush in the background. Don't know where Emplava is behind Ginger Bush. Oh, he's a bit off the back of him.
Yeah,
so
and Dan's flashing his lights up Fury then as well.
Interesting. Lucas Roth then trying to stay ahead. Trying to stay onto the back of Sekulovic, but it looks like Lucas Roth has that slight front end damage. Pen looks like his bonnet's slightly lifted.
Yeah, damn it. Sometimes the damage might fix the handling, but
yeah. Hats off to Ant tonight though, PN. A little scuff down the right hand side of the car, but he's quietly going about a P3 at the moment.
He is in the very Porsche coloured Porsche. It is really very Porsche colours, isn't
Jamie
it?
Brazier in the chat. He definitely tapped the back of Fury there. So let's take a look at the front of Dan's car and the rear of Joe's. There's a little scuff on the back bumper of Fury's car there. And if we look on Unorthodox's bumper, can't really see any damage there.
Very hard to see it on the pink.
Very hard to see, yeah. The pink disguises it well. Dan could wallop him and it possibly wouldn't show up on that. But there is a definite scuff on the back of Fury's car, on the black paint. And at the minute, it's the closest fight on the track as we go down the order. Ant is running P3 at the moment from Scorpion. P4 again, solid result for Scorpion. If he'd have done the whole season, he'd be in that top 5 shout.
He would be, wouldn't he? He's had a really solid words fill up. Solid season, there we go.
Nexus, P5, he's had a good start to his Porsche Carrera Cup. Sekulovic is sixth. Lucas Roth with that damage just losing out to him. Is he going to get caught by Ginger Bush in the final stages of this race? And Plava down in ninth. Not the race for him. Daz Automatic pitted. Not the race for him. Smokey Devil missed the start. The closest fight is Dan and Fury. And there is only going to be one lap left in this race.
So it's about 10 laps for 20 minutes. Ooh, little wiggle by both Dan and Fury.
Dan's closed that gap another 10th though in that middle sector. So interesting to see that Dan seems to have good race pace here.
He does, yeah. Well, so does Fury, to be honest.
Yeah, but we've seen in recent weeks though, Pian, haven't we, that Fury has just gone and bolted.
Dan's on him through left field.
Right, we'll keep an eye on that a second, Pianis. I'm just going to drop back to Sekulovic, who's on the back of Nexus. Nexus comes across to defend. He moves back across to take his race in line. That's his two manoeuvres gone. Sekulovic right on the back. He can't get anything done there. And Dan a little wide at Cops as we go back to him. PN, he's got one lap to get this race win.
Who's what? 2 heavy braking zones into Stowe and into Brooklands.
Possibly, if you could get the lunge at Village.
Yeah, through Abbey.
Through Abbey, into Farm, Village. Maybe set them up for the loop. And we'll see what happens. Right, back down to Sekulovic. He's still behind Nexus. As the car in front of these two, I believe, is Smoky Devil. Sekulovic now has the run. Coming towards Maggots and Beckett. Sekulovic to the outside. He did this to Lucas Roth. Can he do it to Nexus? No. Pulls back in. Dan, though, is attacking the back of Fury at Club. Joe's got to hang on for one more lap. Dan goes for a late lunge down the inside. Fury parks her on the apex beautifully. Dan can't get past there. And now he looks to get the overcut. He's cut underneath. They've both had a wiggle. And Fury manages to somehow hold on to this. Dan is very wide. The track limits will surely be flashing up for Dan there. And this now for Fury, has it possibly gave him the chance? They're both having moments at the exact same points, and Fury still holds on to this lead somehow.
Do you know what they're doing, boys? They're racing. Oh, Fury clunked the curb a little bit. The one where he went, launched it over in Season 1 on ACC.
Yeah. Right, Dan has only got Brooklands and Luffield left to go. We'll go back down to Nexus and Sekulovic. Sekulovic has got past Nexus. Ginger Bush is on the back of Lucas Roth. But this could be race win number 6 of the season for Fury. It's been fantastic. He's got to make sure he keeps it nice and tidy into Brooklands. He does. Get Luffield bang on. Dan is not close enough to stick a nose up the inside. Dan's got a force and error from Joe. But you feel that it's all too late now. Get it the power down. And Fury for race 7 of the season. It's going to be 6 from 7 for Joe. It is race win again for the car 13 as Dan comes home second. Very, very close. Ant is going to take a very impressive P3 there. Good result for him in this one.
And with damage, I wonder if there was contact between him and Daz. Possibly
so. Scorpion, a P4, another solid result for him. It's been absolutely fantastic for him. We drop back a bit though to Sekulovic, who's going to take P5. Good race from Sekulovic. P6 will go the way of Nexus. And Lucas Roth trying to hang in there over Ginger Bush. But Lucas Roth gets it from Ginger Bush. So Ginger Bush will finish down in 9th place. Lucas Roth will then take... There he is. It's because he's called Keegs on this. We'll take 7th. And Plava going to come home for a quiet 9th place then in this one. So Dan took pole, but Joe took the race win. What an absolute race that was at the very end. Well done, great racing, says Walshy. Well done, Fury, says Fury's mum as Plava comes to the line now. We just await Daz. What a race for first and second. It's been like this between them two now for 2 weeks. But I tell you what, great racing. And in terms of this championship, there is now only 3 drivers who can win it going into race 2. And that is Smoky Devil, Unorthodox, and Fury. But it's Dan now second. Joe, if he wins this second, if Joe finishes and outscore, Dan's got to outscore Joe by 7 points in this next race to win the for Joe to have the fight taken down to Donington Park as Daz crosses the line. Right, we're going to take a very little break. We'll be back momentarily. Don't go anywhere.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate. I was born and when I watch me elevate.
Broken dreams in my pocket. Golden thing round my neck like a locket. Carve your name in my mind, cause you caught it. You caught it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you're glowing. Me under the mezzanine, just so that I could show you. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. You're golden. Hey, you're golden. Golden. Lay on the carpet, eye to eye, glistening. No, I saw it. I saw it. You're golden, golden. Honestly, you know it. Me under the street light at the young, so I could show you. You're golden, golden. You're golden, you're golden, golden. You're golden, yeah, you're golden. You know.
Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, for the second qualifying of the evening. And the championship might go down to the wire, provided Dan can outscore Joe by 7 points tonight. It is Fury who leads the way, 59 points clear of Unorthodox. Smoky Devil is P3, 62 points behind. Keegs up to 4th place, but has sadly had to pull out of race 2. He's under the weather. He's really not feeling well. Daz moves into P5. Hitman is 6th, with DJ Phil drops down to 7th place. Now, Barabra and Exit Tibbs and Scorpion are all tied on 61, with Skulovic on 60, Max Mulder's on 55. Mr. T's on 40, on 42, Gary 131 on 40, Ginger Bush 35 has the chance to go above them two in this race. Noses 34, Halted on 28 and 21, Nexus 15 and Plov at 12. In this championship, we are joined by the top two, and for once, Dan gets to try and qualify while I interview him. And he's the man we're going to start with. It was a heck of a lap you had to put in that you managed to get done, because Daz was nearly taking pole position away from you. Just talk us through that first of all.
Yeah, well, credit to Daz, he nailed the lap. I don't know what Matt's moaning about. Qualifying and interviewing is quite easy. But I am only on an hour lap, to be fair. Yeah, like, fantastic lap from Daz. I was not expecting that. I was expecting another, you know, me and Fury at the front, bit of Smoky Devil and Sekulovic, and next thing you know, Daz pumps in the fastest lap. And I'm like, oh, God, okay, and now we got to get somewhere. And I managed to get him just at the end, but only just, but fair play to him on that.
He made a move on you, which kind of opened the door for Fury, though, in the race, and that's how Joe managed to get past you in the race, because apart from that, you had a good start to the race.
Yeah, that's where the race was lost, to be fair. I'm not sure what he was attempting now. I don't know if he missed his brakes or something, but if I didn't go for avoiding the incident, we would have had a crash, and a few little words would have come out instead. But, yeah, Fury in these cars, he could be out in front and he could be not the fastest car on track, and he'd still be able to hold the car. I tried everything. The last lap is all I had, but, you know, Fury's going to win the championship no matter what. I could try and take it to the last race, but he needs a horrendous race.
There's a couple of moments there where it looked like you could have had a run on Joe, but you had a bit of a wiggle in a moment yourself, just not getting the traction down. Was that the key to not getting back past Joe in this race?
The problem with these cars is when you're on your own and you drive smooth, they're fine. As soon as you get behind another car, you get a bit eager, you want to attack, and then you just push you a little too much and the car doesn't like it. So, yeah just a bit eager on attacking Fury, and, you know, he put the car in the right place. I can't fault him, he was spot on, you know, like, I did everything I could. Just next time, Daz, don't come flying down the inside.
Race 2, what can you do from there? Obviously, you've got a qualify that you're doing at the moment. What's the plans in race 2, though?
Stick it on pole and try and prepare my tyres a bit better at the start so I could just disappear. I feel like I've got more pace than Fury around here, but when you're stuck behind him, there's nothing you can do. So, yeah, stick it on pole and try and disappear as best I can. Dan, best luck for the second race. Cheers, guys.
Oh, Ginger Bush there. Bunny hops over the curb. Apologies, down and into the pit wall on the national start straight. He's had to return to the pit lane. We go, though, to Fury, who is so close to winning this championship. Joe, it's one hand on the title, but it's 6 wins out of 7. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was a bit of a scary moment trying to overtake, obviously, Dan and Daz up coming into the old last turn, but luckily there was enough room, but hopefully I can take the championship at the end of this race.
Now, you've had 2 battles with Dan in the last 2 races at Alton Park and here, both in race 1, in which it's been very frantic and a good battle. Do you feel that these Porsche Cups suit you more than it suits Dan?
I mean, I think if you learn the cars enough and you like a loose car, then they suit you. But if you're not that much of a fan of a loose car, then it's a bit of a handle.
Before we get on to the last question, you are house sitting this week, and you were saying off air that you're not sure because of the desk. Well, how is the desk holding up? Obviously, you're not on your usual rig that you'd normally be on. How's it all holding up for you at the moment?
it's holding, it's just a bit wibbly wobbly. So every single time I go into a corner, it makes the desk move and then it throws me off a bit. And then I could go right, the desk goes left, and it's just. But
very
finally,
laggy as well.
finally as well, race 2. What's the plan?
Try and stick it on pole, get a good start, not bog down like I did at Alton, and just see if I can hold the lead against Dan because he's got pace around there.
Well, Joe, best of luck in this second race.
Cheers, mate. Congrats to Dan as well.
So, PN, 2 drivers very happy with their podiums.
Yeah, I just saw Jamie try to join the session, but he then disappeared because for some reason you can't. Smithy, you're in the wrong chat. Go to the mainstream.
I wonder if that's because it is qualifying too. So, it'll be interesting to see Jamie Brazy. He did message me earlier asking if there was space tonight. So, if Big Boy can't get in, that is a shame, but we'll be down to the 10 drivers for this second race. And at the moment, it is Fiori who is currently on pole from GRR Scorpion. Next driver coming towards the line is that of Enplava with Sekulovic on the back of him. Then 4 minutes left in this short race in terms of laps because it's obviously a 2-minute lap circuit. Sekulovic goes second place. Plava goes into that. Plava goes 4th, Sekulovic 2nd, Scorpion 3rd now. Joe leads 10th, just under 2/10 of a second. Daz, the next man, set a lap. Where is Fiori on track? Fiori will be the car after Daz. And then it's Smokey Devil, who needs to remember to hit that ready up button this time. And then on Orthodubs, the next car after Fiori on a valid lap. Not yet set a lap time with only 3.5 minutes left. He'll be wanting to make sure he sets a valid lap time here. So Daz coming towards the line. He's coming towards Woodkit now. And then it's Fiori who's just exiting Luffield. Daz to the line. What's it going to be? It's only good enough for P3. It's not one of them magical lap times like last time. Fiori to the line now. A 2:03.5. Can he improve on his lap time? He does. A 2:02.9 for Fiori. What does Dan have in response? Can the 6-time champ answer back to Fiori's lap time there? We've not seen the 2:02s until now. Here comes Unorthodox. 3 minutes left on the clock. Goes a 10.5 off the back of the pace, but it is close between the front two. Yet again, a PN broken into the 2:02s for Fiori now.
That's quite a quick lap. That's GT3 pace. Really, especially some of the GT3s. Me.
Especially some of the lower down Pro-Am GT3 pace. Here comes Ant towards the line. Ant from the amateur class. First Porsche Cup race for him tonight. Goes currently P4, so that's a good lap time for him. Ginger Bush, who had some pace in free practice, he's still on a valid lap. PN as he comes towards the loop. 2:02 though, that's going to be pretty hard to beat, and there's only really one man who you think could beat it.
Yeah, and that's, well, maybe Daz pull out a blinder.
Oh.
And by the way, this is the new start-finish strike where Daz has gone through now, because it was only built in 2011.
So through comes Ginger Bush into Brooklands, now into Luffield.
Oh, but that car, he's warming his tyres and brakes. He's
backed out of his lap. He's backed out of his lap. He's created some space to the cars in front, so I don't think this is going to be a belter from Ginger Bush here. He comes to the line. What's it going to be as he puts it on the leaderboard? He's backed out. In fact, it's invalidated. So it'll be back to Daz. So Smokey, Ginger Bush and Nexus yet to get a lap time on the board. So it's back to Daz then. And what can Daz do now? Can he find the time to challenge Joe?
He pitted because the car, it said the pit window was open. So it just shows that no one in the street,
which
so
was...
don't pit.
Yeah, which was my fault because I thought turning pit stops off would disable that. Sekulovic is pitted. Daz doesn't improve. Does Fiori improve on his 2:02.9? He crosses the line. No improvement for Fiori. Next car on a valid lap time will be that of Smokey Devil. He comes out of Luffield now towards Woodkit. Dan is on an invalid lap time and he's got GRR Scorpion really hassling the back of him. Smokey Devil doesn't do anything else. What about Scorpion? 1.8 off the back. And Scorpion, shortest route, goes P5 ahead of Daz Automatic. Next car is Nexus on a valid lap time. Can he improve, PN? Because at the moment, what was 3 cars within a 10th in Q1, it's now 1 car within 2/10 in Q2.
Yeah. Yeah, as Nexus does P8. And he said in the YouTube chat he really likes his cars.
Good. It's good to see because he said he'd never driven before tonight. So it's great to see that he's enjoyed them and got on with these cars. It really is. As Jamie has messaged me, and
Ginger Bush is off into the wall.
It got the blue screen, so Jamie will not be able to join us tonight to fill in the grid and take Keegs' spot. And so that is a shame for Jamie Brazier to not get him in this one. Long lost friend, didn't he, PN, Jamie Brazier? You both Norfolk men, long lost buddies.
No, I don't delete people off my friends list.
Jamie Palmer comes to the final corner. He's pulled into the pit lane as Fury then. So who's left on a lap? It's Fury, Dan and Smoky Devil, as Nexus has invalidated his lap. In fact, he's pulled off now and will return to the pit lane. So Fury, flash of the lights if you're up on your time at the moment, please, kind sir, because what will you be able to do? There's no flash, which means I don't think he's up on his time. Into Brooklands now. And is Joe going to find any more time through this final sector? In towards Luffield. And now he gets a good exit out of there. How good's his exit? It's a bit slidey, a bit twitchy. It's ruined it. There goes the big twitch. Joe, he's not going to improve from there, you'd imagine. I've come off of him, so if he does improve, I'll eat my own hat. He doesn't, so I'm safe from eating my cap. Smoky Devil out the final corner, 2.9 seconds off the back of the race lead. He needs 2 attempts to get himself ahead of Nexus on the start grid and get himself into P8. Here comes Smoky Devil. What can he do? Goes to P7. Here's an orthodox. No change in that one.
Make sure we return the garage, so we're on the right cameras.
Dan got me all excited for nothing, but that is another pole position for Fury. And Fury now, who goes ahead of myself in terms of race wins, 42 to his name, takes a 4th pole position of the season. And that is pole position number 19 to tie him with Overtaker in this qualifying. PN, final time tonight, race winner.
I went Fury last race. I want to go for Dan this race.
I'm going to go Fury then, just to be different this time. But I do feel Dan is a good shout.
Well, looking at the pace in race 1, they were just, what, 15 seconds in front of everybody else, them two?
Yeah.
Last of the field?
Yeah, there was. Indeed. Right. So no Lucas Roth in this race. Jamie's trying to get back in. Oh, so
he might get back in now.
He might get in now. So does that do that for just the qualifying? If Jamie's in, this could put him on the grid here in terms of this race. So let's see if Jamie's car does load in at the back of the pack.
I can't select him yet. So
no, neither can I. We are trying. Ah, there he is.
He's in. He's on the back of the grid.
Jamie is in and on the back of the grid. So Big Boy Brazier is back.
Making his return to ACC since before the season.
Since the end of last season, yes. So Big Boy Brazier is back. It gives us an extra car to talk about. And with the looks of things, PN, he'll be starting on the lead lap as well.
Yeah, because he's on the dummy grid as long as he's readied up and hit drive. Ready to go. Hopefully he gets the formation lap and...
10 seconds.
And
well...
Yeah.
let's see what will happen for Jamie here. Either way, that puts Joe now tied on pole positions with Overtaker. And like I say, it puts him ahead of me in terms of race wins. And he is away on the formation lap here. So Jamie Brazier is in the session.
He's got a very Union Jack looking Porsche there as well.
Yeah, he has. Let's just take a look at his car number 17. Proud to be British, I think is the message there from Jamie.
Yeah. I think the blue needs to be darker, but that's just a little person.
Right. Oh, this Jamie's not a slouch, really, is he? He's no slouch.
No, he's got to be interesting though, because he's a pad user like myself.
Yes. Overtaker.
And Overtaker. These cars on a pad. Yeah.
Phil's managed it.
Well, has he?
He's had a good season. He overtook Baraba, let's not forget, around the outside at Brands Hatch. So he's had a decent season.
That's true, but I think Baraba struggled with these as well. Because it's a bit of a difference from the Bentley into a Porsche.
I think as well, what was he drove the Audi last season in GT3s, didn't he? So a massive difference again from Audi to Porsche. And not only that, but a Porsche with no traction control. Big differences.
But then again, though, as Gary said, it's like driving the cars on ACC.
On Project Cars, yeah.
Project Cars, too.
Shame there's no Gary tonight. Hopefully we get a full grid for the finale at Donington Park, the home of the SimPlay Straight. There's Joe really aggressively warming his tyres up there. And Dan may have a small grimace because of the fact the track is that hot now. The track's actually cooled 2 degrees.
Cool. Yeah, it's cool.
But I imagine these are still going to kill their tyres.
Yeah. But then again, though, if you want really hot track temperatures, just come and watch us on...
Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. And speaking of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, if you like what you see, make sure you join me, Fury and PN in the comms box on Tuesday night for AMP, finale of AMP. And it's been a good season AMP has this year, PN. Obviously, you commentated with it and you've done the pit lane reports recently for it. It's been a good season in AMP.
Yeah, I think it's been the best racing of all, haven't it, really?
It's a close championship. It's down to, what is it? 3 drivers, top 2 separated by a point at 2 points. 23 separates the top 3. So it's been a real good season. Emo Guy's pretty much out of it. 25 points up for grabs. He needs them two to not turn up.
He
2
needs
points.
a Monza.
Yeah, 2 points between the top 2 though going into the last race is fantastic. It's ebbing and flowing.
It's ebbing and flowing. It's the battle of Ferrari. I bet your Ferrari F1 team would love to have a season like that again.
Speaking of battles as well, we've got Louis Allen, who hasn't won a race this season. You remember back a few years ago, Colin Turkington, BTCC, won 1 race in his championship win. Louis Allen has won no races, and he's 32 points clear of exit Tibbs, 36 clear of Sekulovic and Smokey Devil. But we've got 4 drivers going into the last 2 races up at the championship.
Yeah. Well.
And then Pro's just finished.
Pro's done 2 races, 3 races ago, and Ripper won 1 again.
Pro's done for first, pretty much for second. Because Wolfenator is 47 points behind myself, but there's an epic battle on for that final P3 spot. You've got Breeze 230, Fiore 229, Peaceful 238, and Wolfenator Peaceful 230, and Wolfenator 240. So a good battle for that final 3rd spot in the Pro Championship, really, as well. That's all up for grabs.
Yeah, it's been a joy this season commentating. Don't know what I'm doing next season because of real life.
Well, hopefully we see you in the commentary box and on the track.
Maybe not on the track.
There's been one championship that's been pointless, though.
The manufacturers, yeah. I think we're going to have to limit it to what the top 2 cars of each manufacturer score the points. I think we may have to come up with some rule to make the manufacturers interesting. Either way, enough about GT3s. It's all about Porsche Cup. Cool. You imagine if the Porsche's clamping towards that championship here. I know. Well, that's 10 wins for Porsche, which puts Porsche on 64 wins ahead of Audi. Yeah. Either way, round 8. 3 rounds left to go. Can Joe take the championship? He's tipped to win in the chat. PN's gone for Daz. I've gone for Fiore. Race start is initialised. It's green and go for the final time tonight here on the Porsche Carrera Cup. 19 minutes left of racing, and what are we going to get as Fiore leads from Dan? Sekulovic right all over the back of an Orthodox as they're coming to Magas and Beckett's. Sekulovic has the inside line, and Dan, is he going to yield? He keeps it side by side. He yields the place now. Sekulovic has jumped on Orthodox. He's very wide through the second part of the corner, and Dan's back through. I think I was Nexus off in the background. As there's Fiore, so we'll get a good leader now. Fiore from Dan. Sekulovic. Ant has been overtaken by Scorpion. Then Daz. Smokey Devil's been overtaken by Gingerbush, and Nexus has had to return to the pit lane. Yeah, I think he had to come together with Jamie, because Jamie's right at the back. Unfortunately, I completely lost my train of thought. Ant and Scorpion then side by side as Ant now couldn't get the move done. Good start from Sekulovic, so he managed to put a bit of daylight between Fiore and Dan and put a car between them for a little short while. But Dan is already gaining on the back of Fiore, who bounces over the curbs. Dan's already wide at the exit of Club, and now Dan can get on the back of Joe. What position would Fiore have to drop to not for Dan to stay in the hunt for the championship? PN, talk through the race. I'll work this one out now. Right, as Dan is having a look, as we're going to have a look at some cars side by side into, I think that's been reached into. And Ant's just moved ahead of Scorpion into the link, or the loop, onto the Welly straight. As Scorpion's having a look on the inside. Right, Ant ran out wide. You don't want to run off there, because that's where Kimi Räikkönen hit the wall. 6 years ago now.
Right, so Dan needs Fury to finish 5th or lower to take it to Donington Park, but that means Dan has to win the race. So at the moment, that's what Dan would need to do in this one. Fury, though, hanging on in there. They've got Sekulovic behind them. Further back, Anta's got Scorpion, Ginger Bush, and Daz Automatic coming with him. Next is Slim in the pits. Hopefully he gets away. Jamie Brazy's going to try and play catch-up to these guys. But Ant at the moment, podium in race 1. He's got Scorpion, Ginger Bush, Daz Automatic with him. Smoky Devil's not come too far. And Plava's on the back of him. Jamie's just crossed the line, 7 seconds off the back. But out front, it's Dan and Fury still fighting. Sekulovic is with them, though.
They haven't dropped... And Sekulovic's car that he's using is the one what the WPI team ran in British GT. And
Benedict Varga, apologies, Benedict Varga, Nexus didn't have enough fuel. He loaded his quali fuel. That's why he's returned to the pit lane.
Ah, so he's had to wait 2 minutes and then put the fuel in.
Yeah.
And come back out.
So he's a lap down, and Ginger Bush is now on the back of Scorpion. In fact, he's going to look up the inside of Scorpion in towards Stowe. And Scorpion gives him plenty of room, but he's going to try and come back underneath Ginger Bush here. Can he get the move back done? Here comes Scorpion to the outside of Club. If he can hang it around the first part, he'll have the inside line for the second part. And Ginger Bush manages, does he just, yes, to keep that one on. Oh, where's Scorpion gone? Oh, I think that's lag.
Yeah, as Sekulovic is right on the back of Dan. And it's actually making Dan defend a little bit, so Fury's slowly pulling away.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same gap, Dan to Fury, as it is Sekulovic to Dan. To Dan having to attack and defend here. And interesting to see what's happening.
It's a battle between, well, Ant, Scorpion, Ginger Bush, Daz, and Palava's Smokey is Jamie's probably slowly catching.
He is slowly gaining on the back of them. He is indeed. So it's Fury from Dan from Sekulovic. Sekulovic is right in this race, you know, PM.
He is. He's not been dropped. Like, bearing in mind, Sekulovic had pro pace when he qualified.
He did, yeah. And trying to hang on over Ginger Bush.
Battle of the Yam drivers here.
It is indeed. So these two should know how each other drive, because these two race each other a lot this season. And coming out on top over Ginger Bush at the moment.
With Daz and Scorpion and Palava. Smokey, Smokey's got to get some, not a lap down this time round.
Yeah, he's not a lap down. Scorpion's on the back of Daz as we go back to Fury. Dan's got his lights back on. The lights are on, but is anybody in? Because Dan needs to make the move on Fury to stay in this championship.
He needs Fury to drop down to 5th.
He does indeed. Fury a little slow into Stowe, and Dan gets a good run on him there. And at the minute, here comes Dan, but he's not close enough. They're just starting to drop Sekulovic a little bit now. And Dan and Fury go again. Remember, do not pit in this race.
Yeah, I did tell Daz that.
Yeah.
You forgot to turn the pit window off on the server. You turned the mandatory pit stop off, but...
Yeah, I thought that automatically turned it off, and it doesn't. So I do have to apologise to Daz there. But here, then, is the rest of the field. It is going to be...
Yeah.
Ginger Bush. Yeah, just about to say he's on the back. No. Yeah, Ginger Bush is on the back of him. That was Dan and Sekulovic. Actually caught the 2 leaders back up. Sorry, it was Dan and Sekulovic I saw coming out my eye. That was Sekulovic. Caught the 2 leaders back up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems a little bit closer at this early phase of this race.
It does. We've already gone through 5-6 minutes of this race. So let's see what these can do now, as here comes Dan, pushing Fury almost through Luffield, trying to tuck underneath. 6-time champ versus 2-time champ, and these two was teammates in the FU Racing stable last season.
They were. They know each other very well. Fury just need to finish second. He doesn't need to win.
Well, 4th or higher, doesn't he, for Fury? 4th or higher to get the job done. I tell you what, Dan is pushing these track limits here, PM.
He is a bit.
Oh, is he having a look now into Maggots? Dan's coming side by side with Fury. Backs out of that one. Ginger Bush in the background having a look on Ant. He backs out of that one as well. So drivers started to look to make moves as Ginger Bush actually went off through Maggots then. As let's go back to Joe. The cameraman picks him up. How was Dan's run through Chapel? Not bad.
Not bad, as he's got well into the slipstream down the Hanger Straight. Into Stowe.
He's not close enough at Stowe, but Ginger Bush is, though. He's looking to the outside of Ant into Stowe. These two have raced each other a bit in Am this season, and Ginger Bush now tries to tuck underneath, but Ant parked it perfectly on the apex and couldn't get Ginger Bush through there. Scorpion on the back of Daz here, and Jamie Brazier is catching onto the back of Smokey Devil, who's not had his best night.
Yeah, as they all took a little bit of track limits coming out of club onto the Sir Lewis Hamilton Straight, which is the new start-finish line.
And I tell you what, I've seen Dan go over a few limits here. He must be getting warnings for track limits here. I've seen him do it a couple of times, but so far, so good.
Oh, Sakulovic hits Dan. Dan's backwards.
Dan is backwards, and he's now got away from the pack. As I don't know where Ginger Bush has gone, because Ant has come through. Ginger Bush has had his own problem.
Yeah.
So Scorpion through, Daz is through, Plava's through, Ginger Bush is still off, Smokey Devil's through. Can Jamie... Oh, Jamie's got some damage. Can Jamie get through as well? But Dan is now fourth.
Yeah. Oh, it's literally Sakulovic was having a look into the loop, and Dan just looked like he closed the door on Sakulovic.
Yeah, and Dan's now got a little bit of damage. Daz has got back ahead of Scorpion in the background. Evening to Bethany Duffin in the chat.
There's now Fury could sort of like drive his own pace. He's got no one in his mirrors.
He can control it now a little more, can't he? He's not got to worry about defending from anybody so far. Sakulovic, though, got caught up in that. He's going to have a slight bit of damage. Ant, once again, on the podium. GRR Scorpion fighting for these front spots, you know, Pian. I'll tell you what, he's had a good week yet again here as Scorpion.
He has. He's been a really, really tidy addition. It's just...
I hope he signs up for GT3s next season, because he could be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah, I might just sign up as a reserve driver in case.
I tell you what, Jamie Brazier did get past Ginger Bush. No, he didn't. Yeah. No, he didn't. No. He's back behind him, because on the track map, he's back behind him. Right. Oh, Scorpion's had a wiggle and Plover's through it, Stowe. So a wiggle for Scorpion, and the Latvian will not need a second invitation. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots.
First one of the night.
First one of the night. Dan now. Oh, wow. Ant was wide.
Yeah, Jamie's definitely hit something. It might fix the handling, though.
Yeah, Nexus back in the pits. Hopefully Nexus will finish this race just to score some points, because there'll probably be space on the grid for next week at Donington Park if they wanted to race it. So
yeah, I think end of July, August, we might not have this season because of summer holidays.
Just sort of special one-off events.
One-off endurance races and stuff like that. I know there's a few people who love an endurance race.
There is indeed. Right, halfway into the race, PN. Sakulovic has brought the gap down to Fiore out front.
He has, but closest battle is Scorpion on Empalava.
Closest battle, they're side by side, and Scorpion's going to go up the inside at Luffield, and Scorpion gets the move back done. Oh, Plava! That was a big shunt from Plava there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom,
Nexus still in the pits. That's pretty much going to be 11th place for Nexus in this one.
Sakulovic is within 2 seconds of...
He is, down to 1.7. That was a line from Emplava there. That was a little wide there from him. So he's got to be a little bit careful now as Emplava.
Yeah, because he must be getting pinged for track limits as well.
Has to be. I think a lot of these drivers have to be fair. Now, it says Ginger Bush. Has Ginger Bush missed a sector?
I think he did. I think he got out the loop from...
Has he done a Gary and Mr. T?
Yeah, I believe he might have done, and just straight on.
So door banging, sorry, PN. He's door banging with Scorpion on the outside of Stowe. So Ginger Bush then a lap down. So that looks like it's going to be 10th place for Ginger Bush. So that's why, when I looked to see, they said, oh no, Jamie's behind him on track. That'll update in a minute. It won't. Ginger Bush is a lap down.
Yeah. That'd be like cutting out doing the Indy course at Brands Hatch, wouldn't it?
Oh, Plava very wide. I tell you what, Smokey Devil's not had the pace today, as Dan's got ahead of Ant in this one, and Fury has the gap Skulovic has the gap down to 1.7. Dan back on the podium at the moment. Oh, Ant's missed his brakes by a mile.
Yeah, I think Smokey's actually thinking of GT3s on Wednesday because he's got a chance to win the title.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Daz got past Ant. Daz has then had a moment. So Ant can come back at Daz here, and he does so, and he flies away. And Ant back in front. Great battle, by the way, between the Belgian of Scorpion and the Latvian of Emplava here.
We really have a nice international mood going on.
We do, haven't we? It's a lovely little friendly international grid here.
Oh!
Straight across the front end. Plava hang on to it. Yeah, until now. Ant still ahead of Daz. 1.9 the gap. Fury to Sekulovic. What about Sekulovic to Dan with 7.5 minutes remaining? 4.7 seconds. Can Dan close that gap down? Daz is trying to hunt the gap down back to Ant, so we'll keep our eyes on Daz here at the moment. What can he do?
That'll be interesting.
Going to be very interesting here. We're going to close the poll there. The vote went the way of Fury. Not a vote for Anton Sekulovic to win this race. Don't forget, if you like what you see here, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and hit the bell to be notified. Back live Tuesday night for the final race of myself, Fury, and PNMotorsport will be in the box for that one. Myself and Benedict Varga, Nexus, will be back in the box for Pro-Am on Wednesday night. Finale of that one. Championships look for grabs, and Pro, it is a battle of places up and down the order. First and second, first in both the two championships has been confirmed. Won by Ripper and Killer Performance Motorsport, so we'll see what they can do later in this season. But so far, so good. Fury as well. Needed to finish 5th or lower for Dan to win the race and take it to the next one. I don't think that's going to happen now.
No, that's... Well, I'm not going to curse it. I'm remaining quiet with that one. Don't want to curse it.
I'll tell you what, Daz, I'd pace in race 1. He's walked well off the back of Ant at the moment in this one. He's just not caught him here.
No.
Just has not caught him. Possibly so. Track temperature has gone down another degree here.
But then again, no. If you want a hot track temperatures, you should see it for Tuesday.
Join us Tuesday night, where it's going to be absolutely scorching and nobody's going to be able to survive.
All I've me and my race engineer have concentrated on is tyre pressures.
I've not done anything yet.
Just see how low we can have them before you.
Now,
without ballooning.
Smoky Devil here has got himself ahead of Emplava.
He has. Very, very slidey is Smokey.
So is Emplava. Drift that one. Has Emplava had another mistake?
Possibly. I wonder if Smokey was at Knockhill.
He was. Yeah, he was. That's why he was tentative. Right, Daz back within a second of Ant, so they've caught each other. And Daz now trying to put some pressure on. Dan still 4.2 off the back of Sekulovic. Sekulovic now 1.5 off the back of Fury. Pit windows closed, not that it matters. That is my fault. And Nexus still in the pits. That'll be a retirement and no points for him. And if he is back next week, it'll be a quali ban.
Yeah, for race 1.
For race 1.
Qualifying sessions and Porsche Cup.
Plava's within a 10th of Smokey. So let's just drop back to that. In fact, Plava's up the inside at Stowe on Smoky Devil. But Smoky Devil looks like he's got more momentum to go around the outside. He'll have the inside for Club. 2 wheels just on the curb. That's within the rules of SimPlay. Not that the game may allow it. And Plava, though, does get that move done. He's got back out of Smoky. That is for 8th and 7th. Although Smoky's on the grass there. You don't want to be on the grass. Tell you what, a big incident here. And Jamie may get these. He's only 19.2 seconds behind. Daz is now 8/10 off the back of Ant. So he's gaining on Ant slightly. Dan is not catching Sekulovic at all at the moment.
No, and I think Fury's controlling the pace now.
You say that, but the gap's just gone down 2/10.
It's gone down to 2/10, but he could be in a comfort zone. He can see Sekulovic, and he knows he can push a bit harder if he gets too close.
I don't think this is Fury controlling the pace. As much as I agree with what you say, Sekulovic gained a 10th over Dan and caught Fury by 2. So I think Sekulovic is on it at the moment.
Be interested to find out. We've got, 2 more laps after this one?
Yeah, possibly so. Joe's coming towards the line now, and it's 2:03, 2:04 a lap. Gap's 1.2. He's took another 10th out of him.
As Dan's out across the line.
Dan's gained 4 tenths.
Yep. Meanwhile, the battle between France and Wales rages on. As Ant's very wide in cops.
France and Wales. Come on, Wales.
It's the Six Nations again.
It is. Well, it's the Rugby World Cup that starts in 4 weeks' time in France. So that's coming up soon. So I'm sure Daz will be behind the boys, as will I. As I know Mother Davis will be, if she's still in the chat. She'll be back in England.
As if Daz is into rugby.
Oh, Sekulovic is within a second of Joe now. Joe's not had his outright pace here at Silverstone PM.
No, he hasn't. Have he really had time to practice if he's house sitting?
This is true.
It's very true. When's he finish house sitting? Is it before Pro?
I'm not too sure. I think it's the end of next week. I think it's next Friday, Saturday. So we might be there for Pro. So we'll have to see.
He's got his wheel bolted to
wibbly wobbly desk, as he said.
It could be worse. It could be an ironing board. Gary.
Gary and who was the other driver who had it to an ironing board? JP races on an ironing board. Sekulovic, 8 tenths of a second now, PN. So he's coming, but he's got 1 lap to come and get the job done. Daz, 6 tenths of a second.
I once had a Sega Dreamcast wheel sat on your lap.
I had one for the PS1, yeah. But I had
sat on your lap.
Yeah.
It just sort of like dug in and it hurt like hell.
Wasn't nice at all. So Daz within 6 tenths of Ant. Sekulovic within 8 tenths of Fiori, although that looks a little closer again as they come to the line. It's now just under 7 tenths. So the lead is on the final lap, and Fiori is being hunted down here by Sekulovic.
Yes, and Sekulovic in the British GT livery Carrera Cup car, where the team ran one of them. They don't actually race now no more in British GT. They run a rally car instead. Martin Igo.
Right. What can he do? He comes out of Chapel, down the hanger straight. He's not close enough at the minute. Dan's 3.9 behind, so I'll tell you what. And Ant's only 5 seconds behind them. Sekulovic has lost time sector 1. Daz has also lost time in that last sector. Don't know what he's lost in the first sector at the minute because them two haven't got to the sector timing beam so far. He's now actually within 3 tenths, his Daz. He's having a look up the inside of Stowe. So Daz has actually gained through sector 1. I think
then it up through Maggots, Pickets and Chapel.
Has Fiori got this one done, do we reckon?
I don't know, but I've got my eye on that if you want to watch Daz.
Yeah, a bit of a lunge there from Daz, and now he tucks underneath for the second part of club. Doesn't get the run though, as he had a bit of a slide, did Daz, and he has to settle to sit behind and watch and wait once again. Scorpion's coming in the background, but you feel he's running out of time. Joe's coming towards the sector 2 timing screen. PN, tell me when they're halfway down the Wellington Straight, and we'll flick over to that one then.
Yep, as it comes through the link now, onto the Welly Straight for the last time. Competitive speed.
Competitive speed, who's had a spin? Dan's had a moment, Dan's off! He's managing to recover, but Dan has had a moment. Luckily, the others aren't close enough behind him, but here comes Fiori.
Fury sideways!
He's about to become a 3-time champion here at SimPlay Motorsport. He exits Luffield now. I think he already knows it. Fiori CBK is a 3-time champion. He wins the Porsche Carrera Cup. And Sekulovic is going to come home P2. Good stuff from him. Dan is then going to take that P3. Ant will be P4. Good race for Ant.
No, he won't.
No, he won't. It's Daz who's P4. Ant has dropped to 6th. So I'm not sure what's happened there. But Daz will be P4. Scorpion will be P5. We then wait for Emplava to cross the line in P7. Smoky Devil will come across the line P8. Not the night for Smoky Devil. Big Boy Brazier, first race out. First race back at SimPlay. P9.
I wish they didn't do that. Someone just left the session before we got results again.
Sekulovic. P9 for Jamie. It's going to be P10 for Ginger Bush. And Nexus did come back out on track, so will score points And
Oh, Gingerbush lost the car behind.
Finish the end. Yeah, he has lost the car behind. So while we wait for Nexus, there is a few donuts. As Fury nearly collects Jamie, actually trying to do donuts there. Go on, Fury. A little donut for the stream before the race comes to an end.
And here comes Benny now as he runs left field.
I think Joe's now going to give us a donut. Come on, Joe, give us one. There we go. He's a very happy man. Hopefully Joe will come in for a quick interview at the end of this one. PN, final thoughts and final thoughts on this season as well.
Well, even though we've got one race left at the mighty Donington Park, great circuit. Most British circuits are great. But well done, Fury. A masterclass in the Porsches.
Indeed.
And as I'm just going to put stuff in the Porsche.
Indeed it was. It's been a fantastic season. Shame Lucas Roth couldn't finish it, but what a race. What a season for Fury. Hopefully Dan comes into the chat with Fury as well. As I'm going to give you my final thoughts of the day. What a night it has been. Great racing. My driver of the day is going to actually go the way of an orthodox because I think Dan has had great pace tonight. Mistakes in race 2 cost him, but 2 podiums for Dan. I'm going to give my driver of the day to unorthodox because when Fury constantly is on his game like this, you expect it really. So I'm going to give my driver of the day to Dan. PN, your driver of the day?
Oh, I'm going to give it to Dan. He gave it everything he had to Fury, but it just wasn't quite enough in the end.
Indeed, it wasn't. We're hopefully going to wait for Dan to join us in the commentary box as the driver of the day poll goes up for yourselves. Make sure you get a vote in. Congrats, Fury, says Sharkbait in the chat. That is Bruno, I do believe. Well done, Fury. Champion again. Great effort from Skulovic and Dan. He says, nice one, Fury. Well done, everyone. Dan, is Dan in the chat? No, he's not. So we will then speak with Fury. Joe, you're a 3-time champion now at SimPlay Motorsport. You've done the Porsche Carrera Cup. How does that feel?
Absolutely amazing. Just the fact that I love these cars, and you know better than anyone, when we're at Donington Park, I'm always asking when are the Carrera Cups out, when are the Carrera Cups. But yeah, no, it's an amazing feeling to be a 3-time champion.
An amazing feeling to be a 3-time champion. It's an amazing feeling to do it as well on the British circuits, because obviously we're all touring car fans. We all watch the touring cars and follow the Carrera Cup on that on the TOCA package. So to kind of replicate that must feel even better.
Oh yeah, being a massive touring car fan and a Carrera Cup fan, and just being able to replicate what they do in real life with the Porsches is just, yeah, an amazing feeling.
Talk us through your race too, though, Joe, because it wasn't the easiest until Dan and Sekulovic had it coming together.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dickier one. It was not as well, I wouldn't say easy as race 1, but race 1 I had more control of the car. Race 2 it was just sliding. It didn't have the grip under the brakes. It was sort of going wide, but I was making a few little mistakes. And then obviously Dan and Sekulovic came together, gave me a bit of a gap. Then I made a mistake, which brought the gap down from Sekulovic to me, and I just had to try and keep Sekulovic behind me. But by the end of the last lap, I had a 2-second gap, but he was just gaining and gaining. Yeah.
Well, we head to Donington Park next week. You've took 7 wins from 8 races. You broke the record, and you still hold the record to this day of most race wins in Pro-Am in terms of a season. We're over Pro and Pro-Am on Project Cars 2. Are you going to go for 9 out of 10 race wins, meaning that if Porsche Carrera Cup does come back, someone's got to win 10 out of 10 to break your record?
Oh yeah, you know, it's just got to try and win as many races as I can, try and get my stats up a little bit, but now I have got to,
It's all about the stats. I love the fact you're just focusing on the stats here. Yeah. Well, you're second.
Stats,
you are second now in the race wins overall at SimPlay Motorsport. You're now 2 in front of myself, and I believe now you're 10 or maybe 9 behind Dan in that list. So you're coming for him.
yeah, just slowly but surely.
Slowly.
He's a quick guy, so it's not as easy as everyone thinks.
Well, Joe, congratulations. Joe Fury CBK, your Porsche Carrera Cup champion. Joe, well done.
Cheers, mate.
And we get a quick word with our runner-up at the moment. It's not done yet, though. He can confirm second next week at Donington Park. Dan just wasn't to be this season.
Yeah. No real comment, to be honest. I got to big up Fury. Like, he seems to be the only person in this car that can actually race wheel to wheel. And he's just done a better job, you know. So, fair play to the kid. I had no answer. I did today, but just other drivers getting in the way, I think, and just bad luck once again. I'm just not getting the luck with these cars, but hey-ho, hampered in the Retia as well, so he is coming for me slowly, but yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It was a good race too, though. Good early pressure, and Sekulovic kept the pressure on you, so you had a bit of a job where you was watching your mirror, but also attacking Fury.
Not really. I had Sekulovic covered. I wasn't too worried about him until we went for a move that was never going to happen and was a bit ridiculous, which then ruins my race, and never gave the place back as well. So I think I could have beat Fury that race. He looked like he was struggling. I was coming for both of them at the end, but you know, frustration and anger kicked in at that point and making too many mistakes. So I feel this season I've just been hit by bad luck with other drivers not being able to judge and drive these cars properly. Like I said, no fault with Fury. He's spot on in these cars and I can race wheel to wheel. Everyone else, they need to sort themselves out and step up the driving.
We go to Hungaroring Tuesday night. You've got one race win. So has Fury in the GT3s. Can you add a second one to that at the Hungaroring?
No.
Nice, easy
I've already tested it. Put it this way, me and Kelly did a quick test session today. At his house, he can do a 49. Killer Camel, I think, was in the session doing a 45. And I'm in the 51s. So, yeah, tempted not to race, if I'm honest. Cause it is just,
no, we need you to race.
The car is horrendous. I'm going to be more of a danger than an actual competitor. Yeah, wow. Just get me back into a real car.
Chat, we need to get in the Discord. If you're not there, please hit the link below to get into that Discord. Make sure that Dan on Orthodubs race. Get a protest out. Get him to race, because race 2 next week would be Dan's 200th race at SimPlay Motorsport if he races all 3 this week. Dan, unlucky tonight, but well done on the 2 podiums and the commentator's driver of the day.
Oh, cheers. And congrats to Fury once again for winning the title. He's slowly catching in titles and wins. I got to slow this kid down.
Fury wins the poll for fans driver of the day. My and PN have gave our final thoughts. But if you like what you see here, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and the bell to be notified when we go live. Don't forget as well, hit that subscribe button. We are fast approaching 500 subscribers, and we always hit a milestone most seasons, so make sure you hit that one before the end of this season. It is finale week. Although there's a few championships wrapped up, the Flying Potatoes have the constructors in the end, but it's between Jay and Tech Leader for the drivers. Emo Guy mathematically in it, but it's going to take a lot of work for him to do. Join me, Fury and PN in the box for that one. Tuesday night, 8 PM UK time. If you want to see another championship up for grabs, it's been won by the Titan Auros in the constructors of Pro-Am, but it is Louis Allen versus Tibbs, Sekulovic and Smokey Devil. 2 races to go at the Hungaroring for them. 8 PM UK time. Myself and Benedict Varga, aka Nexus, will be live with that. And if you want to see Killer Performance Motorsport and Ripper possibly win 2 more races, join Dan and PN for Thursday night's Pro Action, 8 PM UK time. There is a cracking battle for 3rd place in the drivers and for 2nd place in the constructors. You will not want to miss that one. Make sure you join Dan and PN in the box, 8 PM UK time Thursday night. And join me and PN for Donington Park. The championship is wrapped up, but there's places to be had up and down the order. For Dan, Smokey Devil and a few other drivers, what can they do as they head to Donington Park, home of the SimPlay Straight? What will happen there next week? Join me and PN, 8 PM UK time live next Sunday for that one. I'll be Mathew Duffin, joined by PNMotorsport tonight. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Freedom, I never had the chance. to yourself for once. Oh, I think I found a new way out, way beyond your shadow doubt, and I can't breathe. Oh, I hope you're keeping count of all the times you let me down, and all the things you said out loud, the bullshit I could cry about. And I know we could be stronger now, and leave it up to fate somehow. But everything I do for me. Oh.
I get lost sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight, what a time to be alive. Just you and I.